What first seemed like a tragic accident turned into a harrowing murder investigation. When Dustin Kjersem was found dead at his secluded campsite, the signs pointed to a bear attack, but a closer look revealed something far more sinister. In October 2024, 35-year-old Dustin Kjersem embarked on what he intended to be a peaceful solo camping trip in the Montana wilderness. Dustin had chosen a quiet, remote location along Moose Creek Road, just north of Big Sky, known for its striking landscapes and deep solitude. Dustin, an experienced outdoorsman, felt comfortable in nature, seeking solace and reflection in the rugged wilderness of Gallatin County. He had planned to meet up with a friend during the trip, but when he didn't appear as scheduled, his friend grew concerned and decided to check on him at his campsite. What he discovered was a nightmare scene. Dustin's lifeless body lay in his tent, surrounded by signs of a vicious struggle. The immediate conclusion was horrifying. It appeared Dustin had been the victim of a bear attack. Montana is home to a significant grizzly bear population, and fatal bear encounters, although rare, do happen. Convinced that Dustin had fallen prey to a wild animal, the friend called 911. Local law enforcement, joined by Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks agents, responded quickly, but upon their arrival, they found details that just didn't align with a bear attack. There were no bear tracks or signs of bear activity around the site, an absence that felt strange given the severity of the injuries. Suspicion set in, and the officers soon realized they were dealing not with a wildlife incident, but a brutal homicide.
On October 12th, the Sheriff's Office received a report of a male found deceased in his wall tent approximately 2.5 miles up Moose Creek. The male has been identified as 35-year-old Dustin Kjersem of the Belgrade-Bozeman area. This is a homicide, and we are working all hours of the day and night to find his killer. He was brutally killed at his campsite, and we need your help.
Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. The autopsy conducted on Dustin's body revealed multiple severe wounds caused by a sharp, blunt object, including devastating blows to his skull. These injuries bore the unmistakable marks of human violence rather than an animal mauling. Investigators now faced a daunting task. They were deep in Montana's wilderness, with no immediate suspects and no clear motive. The case had shifted from a tragic accident to a haunting mystery. Detectives began by piecing together Dustin's recent activities. They reviewed his contacts, examined his travel records, and spoke with family and friends to understand who might have wanted him dead. They put out a public call for assistance, asking locals to report any unusual activity or sightings in the remote area around the time of his death.
Autopsy has shown that he sustained multiple chop wounds, quote, which led to his death. We're following up on leads, but we have no arrest at this time. We're asking the community members to help us in this way. What we need from you is anyone who is present in the area between the evening hours of Thursday, October 10, and the early morning hours of Saturday, October 12, to reach out to us. That's up Moose Creek.
The sheriff's office even sought out game camera footage and asked hikers or campers to share any possible sightings of Dustin's black Ford F-150 pickup, which he had used to access his campsite. The community was shaken. Dustin was known as a caring father and a friendly, familiar face who didn't seem to have any known enemies. The sudden, brutal nature of his death left his family and friends reeling, trying to understand how a peaceful camping trip could have ended in such horror. As the investigation continued, law enforcement discovered a few subtle clues, but none that pointed directly to a suspect. They kept the case details close, fearful that the smallest leaks could compromise the investigation. Yet the case remained wide open. As the investigation unfolded, detectives meticulously pieced together the events at the Moose Creek campsite. Gallatin County Sheriff Dan Springer confirmed that the detectives had collected DNA evidence from a beer can left at the campsite. This DNA was sent to the Montana State Crime Lab, which quickly matched it to Darren Christopher Abbey through CODIS, a national database for DNA profiles. With this link established, investigators located Abbey in the Butte area. He was taken into custody on unrelated charges before authorities connected him to Kjersem's death and arrested him with assistance from local law enforcement. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. During questioning, Abby eventually confessed, claiming self-defense but admitting to the brutal sequence of attacks that led to Kjersem's death. After Abby's initial attack on Dustin Kjersem, he attempted to cover his tracks by returning to the crime scene to remove evidence. Abby took items he had touched, including a cooler, axe, and Kjersem's firearms, believing this would erase any trace connecting him to the horrific crime. He even washed the murder weapons, including the axe and screwdriver, in a nearby creek before discarding additional evidence elsewhere. Abby, who had a criminal history, reportedly wandered into Kjersem's campsite on the night of October 10, 2024. According to Sheriff Dan Springer, Kjersem graciously welcomed Abby and even offered him a beer. However, the encounter quickly escalated. Abby later admitted to striking Kjersem with a heavy log during an argument. Seizing the opportunity in the isolated wilderness, Abby then assaulted Kjersem further with a screwdriver, escalating his attack with an axe he found at the campsite, leading to Kjersem's tragic death. After committing the murder, Abby reportedly attempted to cover his tracks. He disposed of evidence by washing the axe and screwdriver in a nearby creek and took several items from the campsite to minimize his traceability. While Kjersem's family mourns the devastating loss of a father and friend taken in a place he loved. The tragedy has deeply impacted the Montana community, a stark reminder of the dangers that can lurk even in the most peaceful wilderness retreats. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos.